Hello, welcome everyone. Jim here from Miles Music Media, and today it's all about Drumset and Musescore. I am using the most recent version of Musescore, by the way. Before we start, a big thank you. I've recently received a pretty big uptick in subscribers. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And if you are getting value out of these tutorials or my other videos, please consider subscribing because it helps the channel out. In this video, I'm going to be addressing how to notate drums, and I'm going to be doing it only from a laptop. We are not going to be using the MIDI keyboard. Keep that in mind. I'm also going to be exploring the drum editor and showing some tricks that I've used along the way. And then thirdly, I'll be entering notes and showing some important tricks and tips that you need to learn so you don't get frustrated and pull your hair out, because writing for drums can get frustrating, or percussion. And I've found that clarity is most important for a drum set part, as well as not putting too much in there. For this lesson, we're going to start off basic, and so we're going to go ahead and press, I've already pressed the N key, there we go. I'm waking up here. So as you can tell, that Musescore does a great job coding out where we would click what note would be what instrument. But with Drumset, there is a feeling of voices. So we're going to go ahead and click on Edit Drumset. All right, so we're not too worried about the notes here, but this is great that Musescore has this, so that has to correspond to the notes on the MIDI keyboard. Then we have the name of the instruments. So today we're going to be working on bass drum and acoustic snare and hi-hat. Closed hi-hat, and then we have to go way up here to find open hi-hat. Those are the three instruments I'm going to be working on. When I think three instruments, I'm also sometimes thinking three voices, but you got to be careful because you can get collisions with rests and all that, and that's where we start going crazy and pulling our hair out. One thing I'd like to point out is when you have an instrument, if you want to customize it, you can go ahead and pick what you would like for a note head, which is great. You can edit the note heads from here and how you want to do it in regards to durations. I usually keep things standard. The other thing I wanted to point out is working to the right side of the drum set editor. This is a really important graph. Whatever you click on, it will show you what it will look like and what the musician will be looking at. So there we have it. That's important because if you've been reading bass clef or what have you, it's saying staff line 1. So you might want to think, that's a G note. I'm just saying that because that could get confusing. You can change the shortcuts if you want. That's a wonderful way of doing it. Just be aware of what you're changing so you don't override something. I have changed the hi-hat a little bit. I wanted a sound that would represent an open and a closed hi-hat sound. Musescore had an open sound where it would be on a different line. So here we go. I have a closed hi-hat. I have that as D, default voice 1. And that's the standard way of looking at it. I'm using the shortcut. But now if I want an open sound, I obviously can't use D, and you can't just put an articulation and have the program make the sound. That would be nice. No big deal. Open hi-hat on G. So I have G there. And then I am going to go ahead. I think I switched something. I have to put it across there. All right. And it's on default 1, but it's G. So that will work. I can use that because the other closed hi-hat I have on D. That's all I'm going to do within the Edit Drumset panel. All right. So let's go ahead and create a simple groove. All right. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to press the B key for bass drum. You'll notice it turns green, and that is voice 2. And I'm going to arrow, and now that the half rest is highlighted, that's going to be on beat 3. And since I have it on a quarter note, you'll see the bass drum line up here. Good. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a snare groove on 2 and 4. I'm going to press the control key down, and I do that because then it sets to the color blue, which is the default voice 1. So we're going to have the 2 and 4, so I'm going to press 0, and now I'm going to press the A key for snare drum. Okay, and I'm going to press 0 again, and then the A key. So I'm going to use hi-hat as voice 2, but mentally I know it's voice 3, and I'll get to that secret tip soon. First, I'm going to represent a problem that can happen. After beat 1, I have a closed hi-hat sound, and now on an open hi-hat sound. So we're thinking, well, the open sound is the G key, and the snare drum's the A key. No problem, but problem. So that just ruined our sound, right? Now we don't have that backbeat on 2. How can we fix that? Pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and make sure that note's highlighted. Now I'm going to press Shift and G, friends together. Okay? And now the D key. And then last but not least, highlight that note with the arrow key, and then Shift G. Last thing I want to do is make sure beat 4 is highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and just lightly click on the open sound here, and then I'm going to bring the arrow key to beat 2 and click there. I have my groove. Don't worry about copying measure after measure. Simply highlight and press the wonderful R key for repeat. Speaking of repeats, shift down. I'm going to highlight these 3 measures. I did not put a groove in there, right? Nope, nothing. Here's the measure repeat. Check it out. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And how do you go about adding in notes with Drumset and Musescore? Speaking of notes, speaking of note entry, check out the video right above you. That is a must watch. It will set you straight. I hope this video helped. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any content, and make sure you hit the notification bell. Have a great day and happy music making. Bye-bye.